We have some kind of breaking news on a 6-month-old event that is coming to light again. And it seems like all the crap is hitting the fan for Take-Two Interactive at the same time right now, between Rockstar delaying Grand Theft Auto 6, Borderlands 4 not performing up to expectations, and now this resurfacing. Strauss Zelnick and a sexual harassment lawsuit. And he's being sued for sexual harassment by a man that he reportedly mentored. Now, also, I want to be clear on this for those that don't know. Strauss Zelnick is a married man. He keeps himself into pretty decent shape too. This is the CEO of Take-Two. You could say he works out quite a bit and doesn't mind taking his shirt off. And it's kind of weird being a CEO that does this kind of stuff. But interesting. And we have GTA 6 info says it has now been discovered that Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick is being sued for sexual harassment since 2024. He asked someone to shower with him while being a married man. This is from the lawsuit. Allegedly, by the way, Zelnick repeatedly invited Doe to Zelnick's hotel room to shower. Zelnick walked into a private bathroom where Doe was showering and stared at Doe's that while Zelnick rubbed lotion on his own body. Zelnick repeatedly disrobed and exposed himself to Doe without invitation or warning. And Zelnick repeatedly sent scores of unsolicited text messages containing half those photos of Zelnick. It was a pattern of ceaseless, unrelenting, and traumatizing behavior from a man pretending to be Doe's mentor. And we have one of the text messages from May 4th, 2021. Looks like I'm staying in Santa Monica next week, only in for a day and a half. Are you okay with going to Santa Monica Equinox at 6:30 a.m. Wednesday? Yes, not a problem at all. Wednesday the 12th at 6:30 a.m. Great. If locker showers aren't open, you can use my place again. I'm staying nearby. What? What? the fuck? What am I even covering right now? What is happening? What is happening? This is the court case from Unicourt. Marks Capital Inc., a Delaware corporation versus Harry Strauss Zelnick. Case summary. On 8/9/2024, Marks Capital, a Delaware corporation, filed a personal injury and torts fraud lawsuit against Harry Strauss Zelnick. This case was filed in Los Angeles at the courthouse. The judge overseeing it is Peter Hernandez. The case status is open. Nature of the action. Plaintiff John Doe's description of Strauss' conduct with hotel rooms and that stuff is identical to complaints from other members. Again, remember, a married man. Because if it's between two consensual adults, I really don't give a shit. But it's kind of weird if you're a CEO and you're married and you're doing it with employees. Like, bro, allegedly again, but bro, what? When plaintiff John Doe received that text message from Harvard Club of New York City board member in 2024, it reaffirmed everything Doe had already learned from painful personal experience, that Harry Strauss Zelnick, CEO of video game titan Take-Two Interactive, ultra-rich investor, and private equity magnate, is a sexual ... for algorithm purposes and everything else, predator. This is, I've talked to a buddy before even going, what is the deal with the direct correlation between uber rich people and being creep balls? Like, what is it? And when I had the conversation with my buddy about this, he said, I'll tell you what it is. These people have everything in the world you could have ever asked for with the money that they have. And it's a basic human tendency to want things that you can't have. And when you have all the money and you have all the power, your brain starts wanting to have things that you can't have. And then it starts venturing into the legally questionable areas of the world and the downright disturbing stuff. And that's where the direct correlation comes from. And I'm like, you know what? That actually makes sense. That makes sense. Doe had met Zelnick years earlier. For a time, Doe believed he had the good fortune of a platonic mentor-mentee relationship with a businessman like Zelnick. Guys, Zelnick, by the way, has more money than God. All right. He's got so much fucking money. Zelnick has sinister designs on Doe, and Zelnick used his access to investment capital and business influence to groom him. Again, all allegedly, but damn. Netflix Foreign says, have you seen 8mm with Nick Cage? Your friend nailed it. Oh, good point. I have not seen 8mm for a long time, but yep, that was actually when I saw that. I was working at Blockbuster Video when that movie came out on video. So yeah, that's the last time I saw it. It was a very disturbing movie, but yes, nailed it. Zelnick repeatedly invited Doe to Zelnick's hotel room to shower. Zelnick walked into a private bathroom where Doe was showering. This is what I read already with that stuff, so we'll skip that again. But Zelnick only grew more emboldened when Doe's company, Marks Capital, entered into a securities transaction with a manager-managed LLC called Kairos Industries. Marks Capital obtained 50% ownership interest in Kairos Industries in exchange for $10 million of business assets and bank accounts to Kairos. And Doe came on to provide services as a company employee. Per the deal, Zelnick would invest $10 million in cash and control the other 50% of Kairos Industries. Then Kairos Industries would acquire, own, and invest in a company called Box City Incorporated. Box City, which had been identified by Doe on behalf of two equal members, Doe and Marks Capital, believed they were doing a business deal. Unbeknownst to them, Zelnick's intentions were anything but. He structured an investment transaction in order to gain access to Doe's businesses and wield financial control over Doe. If only that were the end of it. My goodness, this is a story. Zelnick's unwanted sexual overtures persisted, and when Doe pushed back against Zelnick's repeated unwelcome advances, Zelnick redirected his efforts towards retribution. In September 2022 FaceTime call, Zelnick made it clear to Doe that Zelnick had invested a lot of money, in quotes, with Doe, and that, quote unquote, bad things could happen if Doe did not comply. Zelnick kept that promise. Holy crap, that is insane. When Doe subsequently refused to go on a private retreat in the Caribbean with Zelnick and others, Zelnick retaliated. He froze Doe out of both Doe's business assets and his security interest in Kairos Industries. He took complete control and ownership of the company and of its assets. He had Doe fired from the company, and he raided the business assets Marks Capital had contributed. Doe was left with nothing. Utterly distraught, ashamed, humiliated, and with years of hard work decimated by Zelnick, Doe suffered severe depression and distress, for which he continues to seek treatment to this day. Doe is working every day to rebuild his business and life. He brings this lawsuit to hold Zelnick and others who enabled Zelnick's predation accountable. If this is even like a 10th true, that is pretty damning what he's accusing him of here. And you know what? It makes me wonder, with all these things happening at once, looking at Take-Two's stock after they announced the delay of Grand Theft Auto 6 just the other day, and how it's kind of feels like this might be much greater concerns going on behind the scenes. If this stuff is true, that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. And this is all on top of the protests from the employees, the disgruntled employees that are speaking out on forums right now, alleging that there's retaliation from Take-Two and Rockstar for their employees that are trying to unionize. And on top of that, we have protests taking place outside of Take-Two and Rockstar North offices as fired staff deny leaking companies' secrets. So the protests are going on here. This one here, let's check it. Call for reinstatement and back pay compensation.
Please spread the word. Over the last week, we've been gathering signatures for an open letter. We've gathered well over 200 of that. Today we're going to deliver it to management to let them know this is not a workplace that will stand up for this kind of behavior. This is a workplace that stands up for itself. These are workers who stand up for each other. We have two very clear demands. Reinstatement with full compensation for lost pay for every worker fired.
Reinstatement and full back pay for every single person that was let go. Yeah, good luck with that.
And a clear commitment to accountability for conductors.
Which, I mean, to be honest and clear, that's a drop in the bucket for how much money Take-Two has. These employees, in the grand scheme, they cost nothing to Rockstar. They could easily just pay them all off and bring them back in. I feel like this is more of pushing them out because of the unionization and concerns of the long run of what it was going to be able to do to Rockstar. And they did the business move of shutting them down as fast as they could. And they found a reason to do it, meaning that there's no way in hell that they would bring them back and apologize and say, sure, let's bring you back because you stood outside with signs saying you can't do this to us. Now that's not a reason to rehire people with full back pay. There needs to be another catalyst for that to happen. So I have to wonder what's going on with Take-Two proper right now. And this, at least to me, this is definitely not financial advice, but it's not a company I'd feel confident in putting money into right now. And maybe this is actually a great time to do that because the sentiment's down. And when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, it is going to sell like gangbusters and will make infinite money. And this stock will go to all new time highs. And potentially it will do that. But I would almost argue between now and then that there's a lot of other concerns that could drive this stock down a lot further before it starts going up again. So I would just personally not touch this one with a 10-foot pole. The entire studio alongside with this court filing is what a shit show. I mean, these text messages, not necessarily super damning, but alongside the sexual harassment lawsuit allegations, put them together. And there's a lot of oof going on here. And I'm very curious to see what happens to Take-Two in the future. So I will keep you guys posted as always. But for now, I'll leave that one right there.